Hi guys, welcome back to the third installment of the Watford match reaction. So I'm joined by the tribal chief, Usman. I'm sure he's got another controversial or impactful view to share with us. So it wasn't the most entertaining of game. It wasn't the most. As Qasim said, around the 55-minute mark, he fell asleep in a previous video, which was in regards to my match reaction. So, Usman, just before you kind of give us your individual and more kind of detailed overview and analysis, let's just quickly start off with your overall match summary.
It was a poor game. It lacked intensity, lacked a bit of quality. But to be fair, I'm not really mad about it. It was 11 players who barely play for Man United. They've never played with each other. So to be fair, I was expecting this sort of performance. Obviously, the first 20 minutes thought it might be otherwise, but you've got a seasoned championship level team who are used to grafting. They play like 2 games a week in and out, so they're used to grafting hard. They were going to make it difficult. They're not. They've previously been in the Premier League. They're not going to give it away that easy. They weren't going to go for it. So we did what we had to do. And that's basically it. Really, it was what I expected. Hard fought victory. Would have probably expected maybe 2 goals or something like that. But it is what it is. It was players that had not played for a long time, rusty, not played together, no match rhythm. That's what we were going to get, and we got it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, just in regards to the starting lineup, then, were you surprised by any inclusion or exclusions?
To be fair, I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but I thought Eric Bailly thought probably was going to rest him for the Burnley game. But then again, maybe he thought he'd play him today, rest him Burnley, play him Liverpool, or whatever combination he wanted to do. But he played. But yeah, there was nothing. I was happy to see them both play together, Tuanzebe and Bailly, obviously, to see what individually they can do. It was sort of like a little audition or a little, boss, this is what I can bring to the table sort of thing for a lot of the players. So I expected some of them to kind of step up a little bit and show us what they can do to try and force their way into the first team. They didn't really have to do much because of obviously the way Watford played. They had a little, few little forays forward, a little bit of pressure here and there, but it wasn't a test.
Just in regards to that starting 11, then, was there anyone who you thought maybe shouldn't have been in the starting 11 then?
No, I can see.
Or maybe should have been.
I know Ollie likes to pick people on sentiment. Like he's done it with Tuanzebe, made him captain against Rochdale because he's from Rochdale. Would have probably liked to see Igalo have a little farewell appearance, before he goes.
I think that was probably the major kind of, not shock, but I think everyone was expecting him to at least get some kind of game time, right?
Ollie probably thought we would have been 2-3 up and then we'd have threw him on at the end, but I feel a bit upset for him because that would have been nice for him. Nice little way to kind of finish off his little spell at Man United. But yeah, it is what it is. You gotta play the game as it is, and we were only 1-0 up, so he probably thought he couldn't risk it.
Yeah, fair enough. So first half, you kind of explained what your view is, but during that half, did anything happen that you thought was significant? Anything that actually stood out? Because to be fair, it wasn't the best of games.
No, it wasn't the best of games. I thought our midfield played very well. McTominay obviously played very well. A lot of energy, a lot of tracking back. I know that a lot of people think he was man of the match because he was everywhere. But the fact that I don't understand why him being, all right, yeah, he's a defensive central midfielder who was playing in that position today. But a lot of the time he was clearing from our own box, which against Watford, do you really need to do? The fact that he had to do it, I don't know whether that shows that how poor we were or how good Watford were, but you don't expect your central midfielder to be doing the job of your centre-back. So he was doing a lot of the stuff that you would expect the centre-backs to be doing, clearing off headers from 6-yard box, etc. Yeah, credit for him for being there in the first place, but should he have had to do it? So maybe there was something wrong and he obviously just took it upon himself, and doing so made himself look very good. Mata, I think played really well. I think that he was very tidy on the ball. Oh yeah, he gave the ball away here and there, but when he has possession, you don't get it off him. And Donny van de Beek, I alluded to this.
Rumor has it that you were very impressed with him today.
Yeah, I thought everything that we did that was positive going forward, or in terms of keeping possession, it went through Donny van de Beek. I alluded to this in the previous match reaction with Harris, that the reason why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably played Donny van de Beek not in the 10 and in sort of the double pivot is because if and when Donny van de Beek is going to get his chance, he's probably only going to get it in that position. So he played him in that position today to see what he can do. And to be fair, I thought he was really, really good. He's tracking back, he's winning the ball. When he gets the ball, he does not lose the ball, whether it's passing or whatever. I'd love to see his stats today. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 times where he lost it, maybe when he was under pressure, but otherwise press resistant, keeps the ball in very tight spaces. The one thing I like about Donny van de Beek is he doesn't go for the very, very easy pass, the sideways or backwards one. He looked for a forward pass because he trusts the person receiving the ball not to give it away straight away.
That's the Ajax way, isn't it? That's the way.
It's the Ajax way. You've got to trust your players.
Yeah.
If you don't trust your teammate to be able to hold the ball when there's a man on him, then you're never going to play expansive football. You're never going to attack. You're never going to progress. So I like his mentality, the fact that he trusts his other players. So a lot of the time he's popping it off to Mata. Mata usually always had a man on him, but he still trusted to make that pass. And obviously, when you make that pass into the danger area, more things can happen. So Mata had a good game as a result. He had a good game anyway, I thought. But Donny van de Beek, quietly, without making much of a fuss, without having to be a hero, I think he did his job very, very well.
Yeah, for me, he didn't really stand out a lot for me. But I understand exactly what you're saying there. In that role, I guess he wasn't ever going to stand out. In the sense that he wasn't going to go forward, he wasn't going to make bursting runs into the box because maybe he was instructed to play a particular role today. So just in regards to kind of the last 20, 25 minutes when Watford started to have more and more of the ball and United kind of then sat back a little bit, what was your view on that and what do you think was going to happen before obviously the whistle went and we won 1-0?
To be fair, I wasn't really worried at any stage. Yeah, they had a bit of possession, but I think that's just because we lacked intensity. And I think after the first 70 minutes, I think we kind of knew that we knew the way they were going to play. They were going to get it to the wing, try and get it in. But our centre-backs were always going to clear up, their one centre forward. So it was never going to be a problem. Yeah, we probably just took the foot off the gas. We knew that. I think we might have had the arrogance to say, you know what, we've got this now. Let's just see the game out. And I think that the first 20 minutes showed that the mentality. Obviously, you can play the same formation week in, week out, but when you go with a different mindset, you get a different result. So the thing that I liked was at the beginning, we were very arrogant, the way we were just playing the ball around. It's like, yeah, we're Man United, you're Watford, we're better than you, and we're going to win this game. That's what I liked about the beginning of the game. We had the arrogance, which we should be doing against majority of the teams in the Premier League. Yeah. There's probably only a few teams in the Premier League that we need to think, you know what, let's be careful here. Let's just play a bit easy. We should have that arrogance because,
especially at home,
playing the same formation is one thing, but having the different mindset. Like same with Man City, we played the same formation we did the game before, but because our mentality was like, oh, this is Man City, we better watch out. Our performance suffered. So we need this arrogance. We need to be like, you know what, the team that we're playing, we're better than you. We're going to beat you eventually, and then just have that bit of swagger.
What was your view on Ismail Sarr? He was linked to United over the summer.
No, he's not.
Do you think he's someone who we should bring in?
No. He's not Man United quality at all. He's not Man United. He's just Dan James, isn't it? Just Dan James.
Yeah, that's what I was
got a bit of pace.
To Kasim. Just speed. He's probably overall he's probably better than James, right? But not as good. Not to the level we need. I think
because he's a right foot playing on the right wing, he's always going to look different to Dan James, because he's a right foot playing on the left, he has to do more decision making, which is where he looks poor. So when he has to cut in, and when he cuts in, he's usually has someone in front of him, then he doesn't know what he's doing, he panics. Whereas Ismail Sarr just kind of bombs down the wing, whips in across. So there's not much. I'm not going to say he's not got the intelligence or the whatever, but there's not a lot needed for that position. So if you're just going to run and cross, you know what you're doing. Whereas Dan James, once you cut inside, then you have to do a through ball or a this or a that or take on a man. So it involves a little bit more. So to be fair, I put them on a par with each other. If Dan James was just given the role of, look, stick to the wing and just whip it in whenever you get a chance, Dan James wouldn't look as poor. He'd still be poor, but he wouldn't look as poor because he's only got one job to do, and which Ismail Sarr was doing. So I don't really see him as Man United quality, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I also share the same view. I don't think he did anything in this match anyway to show he's on any sort of level, any sort of. There's no chance we're going to get him. So
yeah, I mean,
was there anyone?
Even if you thought you were going to be linked with Man United, you should have put a shift
up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't even do that. So he had not for me.
Was there anyone in the United team who may have staked a claim to actually start in the next game against Burnley, you think?
I wouldn't say start in the next game, but depending on the situation, for me, Donny van de Beek showed that he can play the 6, he can play the double pivot. He tracked back, he closed down quickly. He did what he needed to do, keeps the ball, keeps possession, tidy, doesn't give the ball away. That's definitely got to be an option. He did his role like you said. It wasn't spectacular. But he kept the game moving, kept the ball ticking along, popping it along. Keeping the flow of the game. Obviously, again, there was a lack of tempo from the team as a whole. So had the quality of the team been better around him, I think you would have probably seen even better performance.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think it's actually better to have him in the team as compared to, for example, a combination of Fred and McTominay then?
Yeah, I can see a reason for having him. He should be number 1, and then it should be Fred or McTominay, depending on the type of game it is, your opposition. Obviously, if you want that tall person in the midfield to try and win, like, the goal kicks and things like that, then you bring McTominay in. But if it's a team which is doing the low block and you just need a bit more rough and tumble, then yeah. But for me, it's got to be Donny van de Beek first choice, and then whoever you want to partner with him. That hasn't happened so far, but hopefully from this performance, he can push on and he can prove to Solskjaer that, look, I'm not just a number 10, I can do the 6 as well.
I'm sure we will actually cover this when it's almost time to face Liverpool. But would you have him in the starting 11 based on what you've seen today against Liverpool?
Donny van de Beek against Liverpool?
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, I don't know fully what team Liverpool have available to them and what they will have available to them. But normally it's a
very high press game. So we need players in that game who are press resistant, who are good on the ball, because we've seen time and time again, when you put the pressure on McTominay, especially Fred as well, when you put the pressure on them and close them down, they give the ball away. Donny van de Beek doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So any team knows if one of those two have the ball, or even fullbacks as well, to be honest, they get pressed, we normally lose the ball at that point. Is there anything else you would like to add to your match reaction that we've not covered?
Looking forward to the next one. But yeah.
Fantastic. So that covers the match reaction from the tribal chief. And it's important. Oh, sorry, just one thing I wanted to ask. In regards to Kasim's behaviour where he fell asleep, is he going to get reprimanded? Is he going to get a match ban, a show ban from the tribal chief?
I think so. I mean, I'm like the FA. I don't like to make a decision straight away. We'll analyse all the evidence. And obviously, I think what I'll have to host his show personally and see what he's got to say for himself.
You will have to have a word with him. I think that's coming up next, isn't it, as well?
It's coming up next. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so the tribal chief has stepped in and wants face-to-face words with Cass in regards to his behaviour. So it's going to be explosive, the next match reaction. Please stay tuned to that. This has been the Redflex. We shall see you soon.